communism in Britain forever. Neil Kinnock, isolated in defeat and scarred by the experience of leadership, felt he had no alternative but to move with the tide of the times and take his party further to the right.
The fourth and final part of the Wilderness Years is tomorrow at 7:30.
For Christmas Day on BBC2, a classic tale of enduring love.
All the privilege I claim for my own sex is that of loving longest, when all hope is gone.
Another chance to see the award-winning dramatisation of Jane Austen's Persuasion, a tale of a bygone love affair which returns to haunt the present.
At 19, to involve yourself with a man who had nothing but himself to recommend him. It was entirely prudent of you to reject him.
The persuasions of a close friend once led to separation and regret.
You have an extraordinary ability to influence her, ma'am, for which I find it hard to forgive you.
But is it too late to rekindle what once burned between them?
What say you, Anne? Which one is the captain in love with?
Or can love revive past passions?
Is that not worth your staying for?
No, there's nothing worth my staying for.
Jane Austen's Persuasion, Christmas Day at 7 o'clock on BBC2.
On BBC2 now, The Money Programme.
Good evening and welcome to the Money Programme. Tonight, miners celebrate a Christmas bonus in the valleys. Their own colliery, Tower, once condemned to closure, has exploited a rich seam of coal and goodwill.
Those boys in this pit would work for nothing. I mean, this is our pit. There's nothing you could mention to me that could frighten me about trading in the world market.
Also in the programme, called to account. With billions at stake in the courts, 9 out of 10 top accountancy firms tell the Money Programme they would consider moving offshore. And traditional toys, are they still on track? Hornby's up against computer-age rivals. But is it kids or just their nostalgic dads who long for a train set? There's plenty of Christmas cheer in South Wales this weekend. The miners of Tower Colliery in Mid Glamorgan announced a profit of more than £3.5 million at the end of their first year as owners of the mine. Tower is the last deep mine in South Wales. It had been condemned as unprofitable by British Coal and closed down. But miners staked their redundancy money on its future and worked together to win over the banks and accountants and prove they could produce coal at a profit. But mines need expensive infrastructure and substantial investment to open fresh seams. Jane Renton's been to the coalface to see what the new year's likely to bring.
The day shift at Tower Colliery begins when most people are asleep. For centuries, men have trudged up the Cannon Valley to work down the mine. But since January, there's been one important change. The men now own the pit.
What's happening about this week now? The boys staying on now?
Foreman Di Jones, like every man at Tower, put up £8,000 of his own money to buy the pit. All 250 men are shareholders, and it's made a world of difference.
Working for ourselves now is outstanding. Now, they come to work. You can see them, you know, they'll be given a job. They do that job, they give 110%, 150% on top. And it's great to go there.
They're clannish Tower miners, but they have accepted some outsiders, like accountant Geoffrey Davis, who's now their new finance director.
Just 12 months. The men put their £8,000 in, not with a view to getting it repaid in the short term, but with a view to providing themselves with jobs. We see that as being something which we have achieved. We think that investment will increase in value over the years.
We've got a target for next year of something like 500,000 tonnes compared with 460,000 that we've done for this year. And, that's very achievable.
The rescue of Tower, Wales's last deep mine, is already a legend. The hero is Tyrone O'Sullivan, who led the miners' buyout. He once marched at Arthur Scargill's side. Now he's a manager, but not motivated by profit.
The most important thing is 250 jobs. That's what these valleys need. Not huge profits for ourselves. We don't need multi-millionaires or even thousandaires. That's all we want is jobs. So we go to work in the morning and at least feel secure within the confines of our family.
20 months ago, there was no security. Tower's then owner, British Coal, said the pit was unprofitable and closed it down. Faced with the dole, the miners fought back.
Help us to buy back Tower. We're the only workers that's buying their own pit.
Initially, they put down £2,000 of their redundancy, as well as extra funds raised from shows and fetes.
The first time we raised £364,000, and we raised it practically on a Saturday morning. When it came to the second stage, when each person had to give a further £6,000, which made the money up to 1.93 million. Again, we raised that money in bags, in sacks, in cheques, all within 4 days. So raising the money from the men was easy.
To win over the banks and the government in London, they had to set up a management team, known as the Thibault team. They spent 6 months negotiating with bankers and civil servants. The DTI finally signed over the pit last Christmas for an initial £1 million.
And it was incredible. I mean, 5 miners, I think the first time the 5 of us ever had a tie on together. It's like going to see Walt Disney. Different world altogether. And we worked well together, like faggots and peas.
On January the 3rd this year, the pit was reopened. It was a time of rejoicing and some emotion for Tyrone.
The day the pit closed, we said we'd be back. Here we were back. Not marching from the pit in despair, but marching back to the pit. And my daughters were with me, and my wife was with me. People, my friends were with me for years. And the trade union movement was there. The politicians were there. The strong mile up the road was the finest mile I've walked in my life.
On day 1 of the pit's reopening, coal was being mined. The men were already seeing cash critical to their success rolling in. The coal is conveyed up to the washery. There it's graded, then cleaned, ready to sell. It's Welsh anthracite, virtually smokeless and in demand on the domestic market. Black diamonds, the men call it.
That was a great idea. Look at that, excellent sizing.
Yeah.
The little fines.
Good.
Quality's there.
By the end of the first week, we'd produced 8,000 tonne of coal. I mean, that surprised everyone. Not only, I think the important part is the way we put the coal onto the market. And we do double wash. We give people a good service. We turn the lorries around now practically twice as fast as British Coal used to. People don't have to come here and spend hours waiting to get their lorries filled. We're a lot more efficient. That's the important part.
Tower's miners are now celebrities. 1 year after privatisation, they've made pre-tax profits of more than £3.5 million. It's more than double what they expected, and the men will receive a Christmas dividend.
I think a lot of people out there don't understand why the pit has made a profit under us. We had plenty of confidence in the Thibault team when they went for it. We had plenty of confidence in the Tower, but we also had plenty of confidence in our ability to make it work, this is the reason that I think Tower has paid off this year.
According to British Coal, the pit wasn't going to pay. He had to close. But what it turned out to be, it's marvellous, and it's the best Christmas box I'll ever have.
For Geoffrey Davis, handing out each of the miners a £500 dividend is one of his more pleasant tasks. Profitability has been good in the first year, but future payouts will depend on Tower's performance in the domestic market.
Thank you. There you go. Jeff. Cheers. All the best. Well done.
The domestic market forms a substantial part of our sales. Approximately, it's 2/3 of our sales value, and I guess it's a similar percentage of our profit. We're finding that the market is very strong. The demand for tar products and for Welsh anthracite has been good in the last 12 months. Certainly, as we're coming into this winter period, we are seeing further high demand. And we believe that there's a niche market for anthracite, not just for tar, but for Welsh anthracite generally.
But the miners' money has done little to revitalise the nearby community of Hirwaun. Many have moved away. The decline of the industry has meant miners travelling from as far afield as Llanelli and Pontypool to work at Tower. Retired miner Hayden Howell is visiting his cousin, Di Jones, and his wife, Anne.